Good day, everyone. So for today's video, we're going to discuss something about exponential inequalities and how are we going to solve them. So solving exponential inequalities ay kapareho lang po ng ways ng pag-solve natin ng exponential equation. Okay po? So wala pong nabago sa steps. Ganun pa rin po yung magiging steps natin and how are we going to solve exponential inequalities. And that is, first, is for us to make the bases of both sides the same. And then next is for us to eliminate the bases and just consider the exponents. And then lastly is for us to solve for the unknown. But in solving exponential inequalities, we have to remember this. If our base is greater than 1, or kapag mas malaki kay 1 yung ating bases, then we retain the inequality symbol. When we say retain, kung ano po yung inequality symbol from the very beginning, ganun pa rin po until the end. Okay po? Next is that if our base is less than 1, or kapag mas mababa naman sa 1 yung ating bases, then we reverse the inequality symbol. Or babalik ta rin natin yung inequality symbol the moment we eliminate the base. So for us to put that into practice, let us have examples. So let us have 5 raised to x minus 1 is greater than 5 raised to 3. So our first step is for us to make our bases the same. So kung mapapansin po natin, our base now here is both 5, in which pareho na po siya ng base. So we can now proceed to our next step, and that is for us to eliminate the bases. So we eliminate the bases, which is 5, and just consider what? Just consider the exponent, that is x minus 1, at saka po yung 3. Now, nung nag-eliminate ka ng base, ask yourself, is the base greater than 1 or less than 1? Greater 1 ba si 5 or less than 1? So, alam naman natin that 5 is indeed greater than 1. So, kapag greater daw po yung ating base, then we retain our inequality symbol. So, kung ito ay greater than, then dapat sa pagsosolve natin, greater than din po siya. Okay po? And then we solve for the unknown by what? Lahat po ng may variable x sa kabilang side ng inequality at lahat po ng walang variable ay dun sa kabilang side. So, we have here x. So, siya lang naman po. Then, we have greater than 3. So, si negative 1 will be transposed to the other side of the equation, making it positive 1. And by solving this, we have x is greater than 4. So, our solution set would be all set of x such that x is greater than 4. Or in interval, kapag tinransform po natin ito into interval, that is 4 to positive infinity, in which si 4 po ay excluded. And if we're going to graph that, if this is 0, so by just applying what you have learned on our past modules, then we have, if this is 0 and this is 4, since greater than lang po siya, so 4 is excluded, and then all other numbers greater than 4 would be included in our solution set. Okay? And for us to check that, check natin kung tama ba yung ating solution set that x is greater than 4. So let us think of a number greater than 4. So ano po ba yung number na greater than 4? So pwede namang 4.1, 4.2, pero mag-settle na tayo dun sa mas madali, which is 5. Let's say, for example, that's 5. So we have, suppose that x is equal to 5. So we have here 5 raised to what? Papalitan natin yung x ng 5, so that is 5 minus 1 is greater than 5 cubed. And then we would have 5 to the 4th is greater than 5 cubed. So dito pa lang, alam natin that this statement is indeed correct, that 5 raised to 4 is greater than 5 cubed. Hence, our solution set is correct. Okay po? And that's how we solve exponential inequality. So, let us make it more challenging this time. Suppose we have down there 9 raised to negative x minus 1 is greater than or equal, or less than or equal to 3 raised to 2x plus 2. Okay po? So, first step is for us to make the bases of both sides the same. So, ano po ba yung bases natin? That is 9 and 3. So, we will represent both sides na ang base niya ay pareho. So, ano pong gagawin natin? We can actually represent 9 kung saan ang base niya ay 3 din. So, this is actually equivalent to 3 times 3 or 3 square. So, we can have, we can represent 9 as 3 square. And then we all know that 9 is raised to negative x minus 1. Then we have less than or equal to what? We just copy the other side of the inequality. That's 3 raised to 2x plus 2. So, in this case, pareho na po tayo ng bases. But, we cannot eliminate them, we cannot eliminate them unless we have simplified the exponent. And for us to do that, we multiply first 2 to negative x and 2 to negative 1. So, we'll be having 3 raised to negative 2x minus 2 is less than or equal to 3 raised to 2x plus 2. Okay po? And in this case, we now have same bases at wala na po tayong kailangang i-simplify kay exponent. Then, we can now eliminate the bases and then copy the exponent, that is negative 2x minus 2 and 2x plus 2. Okay po? And let us ask ourselves, is the base greater than 1 or less than 1? So, si 3 po ba ay greater than 1 or less than 1? Since it's greater than, then we what? We retain our inequality symbol. So, kung less than or equal to, then less than or equal to po ang ating gagamitin. And then, we solve for the unknown. So, we have here negative 2x. So, si 2x po will be transposed to the other side of the equation, making it negative 2x is greater than or less than or equal to, that's positive 2x, and then si negative 2x dito will be transposed to the other side, making it positive 2x, or positive 2, sorry. And then, simplifying this, we have negative 4x is greater than or equal to positive 4. And for us to eliminate negative 4, para x na lang po yung matira, we simply divide both sides by negative 4. And if you still remember, if we are dividing negative number to an inequality or to an inequality, then mare-reverse po yung ating inequality symbol. Okay po? Kasi nag-divide tayo or nag-multiply ng negative number. So, our solution set now would be what? That would be x is greater than or equal to negative 1. Bakit po again greater than or equal to negative 1? Kasi nga, nag-divide tayo ng negative number. Okay po? So, ganun lang po kasimple. Or kapag nag-divide or nag-multiply ng negative number, mare-reverse yung inequality symbol. Pero kung nag-divide ka at nag-multiply ng positive number, then wala pong mangyayari sa inequality symbol. So, our solution set now for our inequality or exponential inequality would be x is greater than or equal to negative 1. And if we're going to transform it into interval, so greater than or equal to negative 1, so si negative 1 po ay included, so that is a bracket, negative 1 to our positive infinity. And if we're going to graph that using our number line, if this is 0 and this is negative 1, since negative 1 is included, so it is a solid dot, and any number greater than negative 1 would be part of our solution set. Okay po, and for you to check it, you can substitute any values greater than or equal to negative 1 to our original exponential inequality. Okay po, so let us have now our next example. Suppose we have down there 216, that is 216 raised to x minus 4 is greater than or equal to 36 raised to x minus 3. Our first step, tulad ng ginagawa natin from the very beginning, is that we have to make our bases the same. And for us to do that, we represent 216 and 36 na pareho ang base. So ano po ba yung magiging base natin? So we all know that 216, ang factors niya is 6 times 6 times 6. Or 6 times 6, that's 36 times 6 is 216. So, simply, that is what? That is 6 cubed. Okay po, and 36, we all know that this is 6 times 6 or simply 6 squared. So, pareho po siya ng base which is 6. So, we will represent that in that way. Or we will represent those numbers in that way. So, we have, so si 216, that is 6 cubed And we all know that 216 is raised to x minus 4. Kaya po may x minus 4 po dyan sa labas. And then which is greater than or equal to. So si 36, i-represent natin siya as 6 square. And we all know that 36 is raised to what? To x minus 3. Kaya po may x minus 3 dito. And before we eliminate the bases, we first simplify our exponent para hindi na po tayo malito. So we'd be having 6 times or 6 raised to, that is 3x minus 12. Tama po ba? That's 3x minus 12 is greater than or equal to 6 raised to 2x minus 6. Okay po? And then we would have we now have same bases, hence we can now eliminate them and just consider our exponents. So we have 3x minus 12 and 2x minus 16. Now let us ask ourselves, is the base or are the bases greater than 1 or less than 1? So si 6 po ba ay greater than 1 or less than 1? So that is greater than 1. Hence, mareretain po yung ating inequality symbol. So that is greater than or equal to. And for us to solve this, lahat po na may exponent ng x ay sa kabilang side ng equation at lahat ng wala ay sa kabilang side ng inequality rather. That's inequality. So we have here 3x minus 2x. So kaya naging minus 2x, sinatranspose natin to sa kabilang side. Is greater than or equal to negative 6 and then we have positive 12. Dahil si negative 12 ay tinatranspose natin sa kabilang side ng inequality. So we would have that is 3x minus 2x, that is actually x, is greater than or equal to, so negative 6 plus 12, that is positive 6. And our solution set for this inequality would be x is greater than or equal to 6, or in interval that's greater than, so mauna po si 6, so included si 6 to our positive infinity. And if we're going to graph that using our number line, if this is 0 and this is 6, so si 6 po ay included, so that is a solid dot, and any number greater than or equal to 6 would be part of our solution set. Okay po? So let us now have another example. Suppose we have 1/3 raised to negative 3x is less than 9 raised to x plus 4. Okay? We can actually solve this problem in two ways. Okay? Yung first way natin, ang gagawin nating base ay 3. Okay? Which is greater than 1. And yung pangalawang way natin is for us to solve that in which our bases are 1/3, which is less than 1. And we will compare whether we will arrive at the same answer. Okay po? So let us have the first way. So our base should be 3. So how are we going to represent 1/3 na ang base ay 3? That is actually 3 raised to negative 1. And i-represent natin si 9 na ang base natin ay 3 din. And that is actually 3 square. And by this, we can have, so i-represent natin si 1/3 na ang base ay 3. That's 3 raised to negative 1. And we all know that naka-raise siya kay negative 3x is less than, so si 9 po ay 3 square. So we have here 3 square raised to x plus 4. Okay po? And then we first simplify the exponents before we eliminate the bases. Then we have 3 raised to negative 1 times negative 3x, that's positive 3x, is less than 3 raised to what? That's 2 times x and 2 times 4. That is 2x plus 8. Okay po? And then, we now eliminate the bases. Since same na po sila, so we would have 3x and 2x plus 8. And since 3 is greater than 1, then we retain our inequality symbol. And to solve for this, we would have 3x minus 2x is less than 8. And then, simplifying this, we have x is less than 8. Hence, our inequality or our solution set for this inequality would be x is less than 8. Okay, so let us now have the second way, to which ang gagawin natin ay i-represent natin yung ating inequality or i-solve natin yung ating inequality na ang base natin ay 1/3. Okay? So, si 1/3, yung unang base, which is 1/3, that's 1/3 already. Okay? So, how are we going to represent 9 na ang base natin ay 1/3? We all know that 9 is 3 halves. Okay po? Or, not 3 halves, but 3 square, sorry. That's 3 square. And para po malaman na, we can actually use the law of exponent to which pwede natin gawing negative yung exponent ni 3 para maging 1/3 siya, which is 1 over 3 raised to negative 2. Okay po? And we can actually represent this as 1 over 3 raised to negative 2. Since kapag ginawa natin yan, we can actually what? We can actually have still 9. Okay po? So, hence, we can represent 9 as 1/3 raised to negative 2. So, we can have 1/3. So, we first write it. That's 1/3 raised to negative 3x. And then, what we're going to do with 9 is for us to represent it, to which our base is 1/3. So, that is 1/3 square, raised to negative 2. And then, alam natin na si 9 naka-raise kay x plus 4. And before we eliminate the bases, we first simplify it. So we have here 1/3 raised to negative 3x is less than what? Is less than 1/3 raised to, that's negative 2 times x. That would be what? That's negative 2x, and then negative 2 times positive 4, that's negative 8. And now, in this moment, we can now eliminate the bases. So we just considered now the exponents, that's negative 3x and negative 2x minus 8. So let us now ask ourselves, are the bases greater than 1 or less than 1? So, yung base natin dito ay 1/3, which is actually less than 1. So, kung less than 1 iyan, at ang ating inequality symbol ay less than, then i-reverse natin siya at magiging greater than. Okay po? And then, we now solve the inequality. So, we have negative 3x plus 2x is greater than negative 8. And then, simplifying this, we have negative 3x plus 2x, that's negative x, is less or greater than 8. But since x lang po dapat yung kukunin natin, we multiply both sides of the equation by negative 1 or we divide it by negative 1 para maging positive yung x. At dahil nag-multiply tayo ng negative number, then mare-reverse po ulit yung ating inequality symbol, which will make it x is greater or less than positive 8. Okay po? And if you would notice, pareho po tayo ng na-acquire na sagot dun sa ating dalawang pamamaraan na ginawa. So, either of the two methods, pwede nyo pong gawin. You will still arrive at the same answer. Okay po? So, let us now have our last example. Suppose we have down here 4 over 9 raised to negative 3x. 4 over 9 raised to negative 3x is less than 81 over 16 raised to x minus 2. So, just like the previous example, we can solve this in two ways. Uh, Pwedeng ang gawin mo since kung mapapansin natin, si 4 at saka si 16 may or they share common characteristic, to which pwede natin gawin si 16 4 square. At dito kay 9 at 81, pwede natin gawin si 81 9 square. So we can have two ways to which we can solve the inequality. Yung base natin is either 4 over 9 or 9 over 4. Okay po? So, pili na lang tayo ng isang pamamaraan, and that is for us to solve it in which the base is now 4 over 9. Okay? So, 4 over 9, so rewrite lang natin, that's 4 over 9 raised to negative 3x. And then, how are we going to represent 81 over 16 na 4 over 9 din yung base? We all know that 81 is 9 square and si 16 po ay 4 square, to which we can simply have it 9 over 4 square. Tama po ba? And para maging 4 over 9 po ito, we can simply have 4 over 9 raised to negative 1. That's 9 over 4. And alam natin na kailangan naka-square pa rin siya. Hence, we can simply represent 81 over 16 as what? As 4 over 9 raised to negative 2. So we will now represent 81 over 16 as what? 4 over 9 raised to negative 2. And we all know na naka-raise pa rin siya kay x minus 2. And by this, we first simplify the exponent. Then we would have 4 over 9 raised to negative 3x is less than 4 over 9 raised to what? That's negative 2 times x. That's negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 2, that's positive 4. And in this moment, we can now eliminate the bases. So we have negative 3x and negative 2x plus 4. So let us now ask ourselves, are the bases greater than 1 or less than 1? So si 4 over 9 po ay less than 1. Hence, kung ito ay less than, then dapat greater than po yung gamitin natin. Then we would have negative 3x, then positive 2x is greater than 4. Bakit po naging positive ito? Dahil tinranspose natin ito sa kabilang side ng inequality symbol, ng inequality sign. Then, by simplifying this, we have negative 3x plus 2x. That's negative x is greater than 4. So, negative po yung x natin. And para maging positive po yan, we multiply both sides by negative 1. Or simply, we can divide it by negative 1. Hence, we would have x is what? X would be less than negative 4. Bakit po naging less than? Dahil nag-multiply po ulit tayo ng negative number. Hence, our solution set for our inequality would be x is less than negative 4. And if we're going to transform it into interval, then that would be, so it's less than, so mauna si negative infinity, then negative 4 is excluded. And if we're going to graph that using our number line, if this is our 0 and this is negative 4, then negative 4 is excluded, kaya hollow that, and any number less than negative 4 is part of our solution set. And that's how we solve exponential inequalities.